If you know me, you know that there's few things I hate more than leaving the house, like doing stuff. I like to get all dressed up and not go anywhere. But occasionally I do have to go somewhere and I like to look nice. But that's when I run up against the fact that I have no idea how long it actually takes to get ready or go anywhere, and I'm incredibly overly optimistic. In fact, right now, I'm late for a meeting. So I thought I could do this whole video in time and go and be there on time. And that being said, I like to have a couple of go-to looks where I can look like I made an effort just a little step above every day and yet still not be horribly late. Like I'm maybe going to be 5 minutes late for my meeting now instead of 20 minutes late, which is how late I usually am for things. So this is a really easy look. It's a really simple type of halo eye that's going to take your look up a level in a minimal time. It's consistent, it's easy, it's really, really pretty, and it can also be really creative. So if you want to learn more about one of the ways in which you can really, fancify your look in minimal time and effort, keep watching. Usually I work from home as a writer, so I don't see anyone throughout the day, but lately I've had to leave for a lot of different meetings, especially as I get ready for my book to come out. And I've kind of been relying again on some of my old tricks for quickly getting out the door while still, looking nice. And I'm always a little extra with my makeup, and I have a couple of really quick looks that will get you looking kind of fabulous, a little glam, but out the door a lot faster than you would think. And this is definitely one of them, my go-to, which is the sparkly halo eye. I know we see a lot of different halo eyes and they can be done with various levels of, intricacy, but this one is really simple and is something you can do kind of regardless of your skill level, and it will have you out the door really quick. What I love most about this sort of look is that you can mix and match with pretty much any shadow combination. You just need deep mattes and a shimmer. And so whether that's a shimmer shadow or glitter shadow, that's up to you and kind of the level you want to take it to. So I'm going to be using today a couple of different shadows, but I'm going to be working a lot from my Marc Jacobs Wild One palette, which I just love. And it's a little bougie, and as you can see, mine is a little beat up in places. That's because I was showing my mom and I was like, oh my god, mom, look at this, like, I know it's a splurge, but oh my god, it's so beautiful. And I show her, and right as I say this palette was $100, she dropped it on the ground. I was like, you're never allowed to touch my things again. But it's such a beautiful everyday palette. Every shadow in here performs beautifully, and it's so blendable, so perfect. It's got such a unique combination of colors and finishes that I just don't see elsewhere, and that's why I had to buy it. But I find myself reaching for this over and over again. But that said, if you don't have $100, the great thing about this is it really does work with any mattes that you have that you love and any shimmers you have. So we're gonna do just a combination of looks, and let's see how much my makeup removal my eyes can take before we're done. All right, let's get started. So first things first, I already have prepped my eye. I used my MAC paint pot in Laying Low, and I set that with a translucent powder. And I'm gonna quickly just pop a light color, just about the same, color as my brow bone right now, over that area. This is just going to give my transition color something to blend into. It's something I do almost all the time. And I use a matte shade for this. If I want to highlight with a shimmer later, I'll do that when I'm done. Okay, so now that that's down, I'm going to take a big fluffy brush. This one just happens to be a NYX number 16, I think. And I love this brush. It's cheap. I have a couple of different ones. And I'm going to go into a basic transition color. And I'm going to go in a large circle shape. But I do find that this in general works for just about any eye shape, even if you have hooded eyes. As you can see, I do have a bit of a hood here, because you're just making a shape that's broader than, the outlines of any of your eye shapes. This is a look that really widens your eyes too, so if you feel like you would really like your eyes to appear wide open, this sort of shape, this more circular round halo shape, does that. It opens your eye up. Now that my transition shade is done, I'm going to start with my main lid color. But this is from my Viseart Dark Mattes palette. But you know, any color, there's a lot of colors like this out there. So I'm just going to use this kind of fluffy crease brush, and this is the Morphe M513. I don't know, it's just the size that works. I think personally this brush is a little scratchy, but you know, anything around this size that's like a gentle dome, a gentle crease shape will work great. Start with light amounts of color on your brush. As you can see, there's hardly any. I'm so not good at this. As you can see, there's hardly any color on this brush. Start with light amount of color because you want it to be light around the edge. And you're just going to go a little bit further down from where your transition color started. And just a little color at a time, you're going to go ahead and place that color in that circular shape around your eye. It's really important that this initial, you know, outer area is nice and light. It will save you a lot of time and a lot of blending than if you go in really heavy and then have to try and make a, you know, blend the edges out at the end. This saves you a lot of blending. Now that the basic outline of my shape is done, I'm going to dip in now with a slightly denser brush. So I'm going to go in with this one here. As you can see, it's smaller and denser than the one I was using before, and a little more rounded. And I'm going to dip in still with a light amount of color, and I'm just going to start deepening slightly lower than I had initially set that color down. And I'm just going to intensify the color and give you a really natural deepening without having to blend a ton. Now, with a traditional halo eye, you would leave this part of the eye blank, but we're just going to go ahead and lightly wash color over the whole thing to save some time. We're not going to be carving out any sort of area on the eye. So now that I have gone ahead and deepened up the color, and as you can see, it definitely transitions deeper right around here, I'm going to go ahead and add even more color to the inner and outer corners of the eye. I'm going to make sure to keep this well within the edge, but I'm just going to really pack it in. You can switch to a shader brush at this point if you want, but you know, if I'm in a rush for time, this brush is, you know, densely packed enough that it will do the job for me. That's done, everything is deep and ready to go, and now's the fun part, the shimmer. But I want a little extra pop, and so there are a lot of different options here. I have the Touch and Soul Metalist liquid foils, and these are like, I can't get it to focus. These Touch and Soul Metalist liquid foils have one side that's a shimmer and then one side that's a glitter, and you press the glitter into the shimmer before it dries. These are really a great way to put like a high impact shimmer that will last a long time and won't fade. I've got these Stila like shiny glitter, they're called Glitter and Glow liquid eyeshadows, and it's basically just glitter. Some Inglot Pure Pigment shadow, and you can also just use plain old glitter and some glitter glue. So I've got my NYX glitter primer, which I love to use with just about anything. So I'm going to use my Touch and Soul liquid foil and glitter duo and the color Margaret. So first you go into the shimmer and you just place a little over the center of your eye where you want that halo effect. And then I take my finger and just press the edges of this out. And I like to kind of look in the mirror and see where my eye falls over my lid to make sure that's where I have the majority of that. And then you go into the glitter and you just take a little bit of the glitter. It comes on this like this weird spatula thing that can be a little messy, and you pop it on your hand, on like the back of your hand, and you take your finger, grab it, and just pop it over the center. So now I've got my shimmer on my lid, and as you can see, it's a very beautiful effect. And to just smooth it out really quick, I'm going back in with this brush that I'd used to deepen the orange color. I am not adding any more color to it. I'm just using what's left on the brush, and I'm going to quickly run it over the edges of the glitter. And that's just going to blend it in a little more, make it a little more seamless. So now I'm going to quickly do my under eye. So what I like to do for the under eye, because this is a pretty neutral color, I'm going to take a flat shader brush right here, and I'm going to go into that orange, and I'm going to really pack it along my lash line. Then with that color packed on so that it's not a harsh line, I'm going to take a small brush. This happens to be my Wingos 20 brush, which I love, but you know, any small stiff brush or a pencil brush will work too. And I'm going to dip into my initial transition color that was a shade or two darker than my skin tone. And I'm going to run that over the orange. It's going to fan that out. Here's the finished eye look number 1, and as you can see, it's a beautiful kind of glimmery but still daytime friendly look. It has a little extra something, but it's so fast and so easy. So now let's try a different color combination. I think this time I will try a dark brown. So I'm going to go ahead and use this beautiful like chocolatey color from this Marc Jacobs palette. And I think for my shimmer this time, I'm going to go with my AMC pigment, because I just bought it yesterday and I haven't got a chance to try it. But it's a beautiful like brown, purple, green shift, and it looks splendid. So I want to give that a try. Okay, so my eyes are prepped again, and as you can see, my lashes are looking a little dusty, but that's what happens when you don't take the mascara off. I'm not going to put my lashes through that. Starting once again with a light brown bone color. Now the transition color. Now with a slightly smaller fluffy crease brush, I'm going to go into this deep brown very lightly, especially because of the depth of this color. I barely touch the palette, and now I'm going to really tap that excess off so there's almost nothing on it. So now that I've put that deeper color in a very light wash and the outer circle shape that I want, I'm going to go in with my smaller brush, just like before, and deepen it up a little bit lower in that same round shape. If you're working on this and you find that the outer edges of your color that you just applied need a little more blending, what I like to do is just use the brush from the step before. So I'm on this step, I'll go to this brush and then just blend over the edge with that. Now I'm going to go ahead and deepen the inner and outer corners of the eye and lightly wash the color over the center of my lid. So now I've got it all kind of deepened up, as you can see, but what I find here is that if you're using a shimmer that has a deep base, especially if you're using a duochrome that has a really deep base, you'll actually want to deepen up the center of your lid as well. I find that oftentimes these perform better over deeper colors. So I'm going to go ahead and make this solid. Fantastic. Now we're ready for the fun part, the shimmer. So for a loose shimmer like this, same as glitter, you're going to want to put something down for it to stick to. So whether that is something like your Inglot Duraline or, you know, more easily available, your glitter glue, you're going to want to put that down. I find the glitter glue works absolutely wonderfully as far as making sure that nothing budges. So I'm just going to take a very small amount on this small stiff brush. I'm going to run this. Don't get it all over your lashes like I just did. Jesus. Lightly over the center of your lid. These looks are my favorite for like family holidays because I always like to look nice on family holidays. I don't want to look overdone like I'm trying to like compete with any family members in the holidays or make anyone who didn't dress up feel bad. And I'm busy usually cooking, getting my kids, you know, yelling at my children to get out the door. And so any great plans I have towards looking fancy are gone because I'm sweaty, I'm tired, and I'm usually late. So I am going to take a flat shader brush now while that glitter glue is still tacky, and I am going to dip it in just a bit of the pigment. And I'm going to brush that over. The glue. So now that I have that color down, isn't that beautiful? Oh my god, it's so gorgeous. Look at the shift of that. Oh, I love it so much. I'm going to go ahead and take this brush that I had laid the brown on, no extra color, blend over the edge. So now that the pigment is down and blended, I'm going to go in with liner. And for this you can either go with brown, I would say go darker than the one I had used before, or you can do black. This is a deep enough brown that the black works just fine, and actually that's what I'm going to use. So now with that lash line defined, I'm going to go ahead and take my flat shader brush. I'm going to run that dark brown close to my lash line. I'm going to really pack that in. Just like before, I'm going to take my smaller brush. This is my Wayne Goss 20 brush, and I'm going to dip it in my transition color that I had initially used, and I'm going to run it over that dark brown. And this dark brown is deep enough that I don't actually need to use any liner on my lower lash line. This is definitely enough definition for me. So now that my eyes are basically done, I'm going to refresh my mascara and come back for final steps. And here we are with the finished look. So I just refreshed my mascara, put on my under eye concealer, popped a little highlighter on, and a little lipstick. And in case you're wondering, I am wearing the Catrice lipstick, which I love. It's such a good deal. In Ultimate Color number 450, it's called Legend Berry. And I just love the way this whole thing turned out. It's a really like beautiful, fancy, like put together look, but it's not like way too much. Very quick, very easy, and an incredibly predictable look. So if you're in a rush and you don't want to get experimental, but you also want to know that you can mix up a bunch of colors, you know, you can do this beautiful like blue with this lovely like purpley blue glitter, or you know, you could totally mix it up to this blue with a gold, and you know, get a bunch of different combinations of looks. They're all going to look really different, but they're going to be really easy and consistent for you to wear. So I hope this gets y'all through the holidays. I hope you have a wonderful time with it, and if you take pictures, please tag me on Instagram. I'm under Ijoma Oluo everywhere, and yeah, the spelling is on the channel because I know Ijoma Oluo is not like automatically known to most of you. And definitely let me know if you have any questions or what your go-to holiday looks are, or your go-to last minute fancy looks are. And I hope to see you again soon. I will be doing a couple more videos that are just highlighting some really quick and easy fancy looks so that you can kind of glow up quickly. All right, everyone, have a great day. I'll see you later. Bye.